This is the Pythonic Accountant, and what I've got for you today is we're going to take a look at some general ledger details available publicly from the state of Oklahoma. We're going to see if we can make any use of it in any of our generative AI tools. So I've downloaded the FY23 quarter four CSV, and if you want to see what that looks like, we can just pop open the CSV file and just get a preview. It's a pretty large file, but you can see here it's got quite a bit of information in it. It's got a bunch of different columns, and it's got information about the type of account that's paid out of, and the type of expense that there is, and a lot of information here. So we're going to see if any of our tools can just make sense out of it without doing anything ourselves. I'm guessing ChatGPT may be our best bet because of code interpreter, but we did have someone ask if the Google's Gemini 1.5 is able to make any sense of this. So let's see if it's able to. I'm going to go ahead and do file upload, and we're going to browse. Going to go to our downloads, and this is going to be probably the largest file right here. And this might take a few minutes for it to load and process. So while that's loading, let's go over to ChatGPT and also load it here. And we're going to go again to downloads, and it's going to be the large FY23 quarter four spreadsheet. And let's just check on the status. All right, so it's uploaded. Now it's going to be getting processed. And let's we'll pause and wait till it finishes getting processed in both of these tools so we can start asking some questions. All right, so ChatGPT has finished loading the file. So I'm just going to ask it, tell me some basic information about this file, including general statistical info. So it's probably going to read the file. It might just do like a pandas.info or whatever it is, pandas.describe, just to get some basic info about it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I also remembered that there is something called Notebook LM, which is an experimental notebook from Google. So I'm going to actually try this as well at the same time. We're going to call this General Ledger and save. And I should be able to point to the same file that I uploaded here. So let's see if I can add a source from Google Drive. It's going to be recent. And no, it's looking for a document, it looks like. Upload a source. How do I add a source? All right, so it looks like this Notebook LM is not going to be something we're going to play with today. It looks like the sources have to be Word documents, so we're going to pause on that. We'll go back to ChatGPT, and it looks like it was able to use some Python code to run and analyze the data set. So it shows us the column names, tells us something about the data types, tells us some statistical information, that it's fiscal year 23, that's right, periods 10 through 12, and that's right, because it was Q4. Posted total amount ranges from negative 1.3 billion to 1.3 billion positive, and looks at the first few entries. So that's cool. So let's do some analysis. What should we look at? We'll let ChatGPT decide. Meanwhile, let's go over, and it looks like it's still trying to extract data on Google Gemini Pro. It's not looking good. It's been doing this for a while. There's a chance this just may never work, and I don't think it's going to work well, even if it does end up loading it, because this is not really intended to look at like structured data. I think the structured data still works best for something like Python or GenAI that has access to running Python. Okay, so the ChatGPT looks like it's suggesting different types of analyses we could do. We could do a trend analysis, agency-specific analysis, expenditure analysis. So I think maybe what might be fun is let's do a trend analysis looking at expenditures by agencies. let's see what it does here. So we'll do a trend analysis looking at expenditure categories by agencies. All right, so we're able to get a little bit from ChatGPT. Meanwhile, Google's still trying to extract this, so we're going to go ahead and cancel this. This is just not going to work, I think. Let's go ahead, though, and see if we can do one last thing with ChatGPT. It says, by examining the frequency of expense categories by agency, we gain insights into the most common type of expenses. Okay, that's cool. Can you visualize this for me? So I think that'll be interesting to see if it can actually create a data visualization for us to analyze. So let's see what it can do. All right, well, we got something out of it, and this is pretty cool. This is only showing us the Alcoholic Beverage Laws Enforcement Agency, and it's showing us the top expense categories by frequency. Now, cash combining trial balance does not sound like an expense. Neither does appropriated transfers in. But credit card fees does. License permits fees general does. So, not exactly helpful for some of these, but still not a bad start. But anyways, I think what we learned here is the data from a structured format is really still only going to be useful with generative AI, with the ChatGPT, with data analysis, or using similar tools that can actually, run Python code or SQL code and give you, kind of a smaller set of results for it to analyze. Google Gemini, if they're going to add that to their feature set, they have not added it at this point. Well, anyways, hope you enjoyed this. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you at the next one.